Now, Sean McDermott brings updates on Josh Allen's injury. Leave your like, subscribe, share, and let's go. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen once again reminded the NFL world that he is one of the toughest competitors in professional football. On Sunday afternoon, during Buffalo's commanding 30-10 victory over the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium, Allen endured one of the scariest moments of the young season when he took a brutal hit to the face that left him bloodied, shaken, and briefly sidelined. Yet, in typical Josh Allen fashion, the Bills franchise quarterback shrugged it off, returned almost immediately, and helped guide his team to a convincing divisional win. The play happened late in the first half, with Buffalo's offense moving downfield and looking to extend their lead before halftime. Jets defensive lineman Michael Clemens broke through the line and delivered a forceful blow that connected directly with the bridge of Allen's nose. The impact sent Allen to the turf and, moments later, blood began streaming down his face as he jogged toward the sideline. For a brief moment, the entire Bills fan base held its breath, unsure if their franchise quarterback had just suffered a significant injury. With Allen being attended to by trainers, backup quarterback Mitchell Trubisky entered the game. And to his credit, Trubisky wasted no time making an impact, connecting with wide receiver Joshua Palmer on a 32-yard strike to continue the drive. The moment gave Bills Mafia a quick glimpse of life without Allen, but before anyone could process the idea of their star being out for long, Allen reemerged, patched up and ready to go. His return to the huddle was met with an audible roar from the Buffalo fans who had traveled to MetLife to support their team. Allen finished the half with blood still visible on his face, a symbol of both the physical beating he had taken and the resilience that has defined his career since being drafted in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft. After the game, Allen addressed the incident and admitted that the swelling and pain in his nose were noticeable, but in true Warrior fashion, he downplayed the severity. "I'm sure they're going to ask me to take x-rays," Allen told CBS sideline reporter Tracy Wolfson, "but I typically decline. We'll figure it out." The comment immediately sparked conversation across social media and sports talk shows. Some praised Allen's toughness and willingness to fight through pain, while others criticized what they saw as unnecessary recklessness. In a league that prioritizes player safety more than ever before, declining medical scans after such a hit certainly raised eyebrows. When asked about what exactly caused the injury, Allen admitted he wasn't entirely sure. "I don't know what hit me," he said. "It was a knee, it was a hand, it was somebody. It just kind of came down right on the bridge of my nose and just started leaking." The image of Allen sprinting off the field with blood gushing from his face quickly went viral, symbolizing his grit and determination. Fans online called him a modern-day gladiator, and several teammates praised him for his toughness in the locker room afterward. Even head coach Sean McDermott, who is typically careful with his words when discussing injuries, acknowledged the significance of Allen's resilience. "He's one of the toughest guys I've ever coached," McDermott said. "The way he battles for his teammates, the way he gets back up after taking shots like that, it says a lot about who he is as a competitor." The good news for Buffalo is that Allen's injury does not appear to be serious. On Monday afternoon, McDermott provided an update during his scheduled press conference, confirming that the quarterback avoided any fractures or structural damage. While Allen's nose is swollen and bruised, he is fully expected to play in Buffalo's next game, a Thursday night primetime matchup against the division rival Miami Dolphins. That announcement was met with relief by Bills fans, who have seen their quarterback play through countless injuries over the years. Since entering the league, Allen has built a reputation as one of the NFL's toughest players. From running through defenders on designed quarterback runs to playing through shoulder and elbow pain in previous seasons, Allen has never shied away from physical punishment. Sunday's bloody nose simply added another chapter to his growing legacy of toughness. Still, some within the organization are hopeful that Allen will take better care of himself moving forward. "I would imagine his wife Haley Steinfeld is going to beg him to get checked out properly," one reporter joked after the game, referencing Allen's refusal to undergo x-rays. The lighthearted remark underscores the reality: while Allen's toughness inspires his teammates, his long-term health is far more important than proving he can withstand pain. On the field, Allen didn't need to be Superman against the Jets. With running back James Cook carrying the load, rushing for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Buffalo defense smothering Jets quarterback Justin Fields before knocking him out of the game with a head injury, Allen was able to manage the game effectively. He finished with 148 passing yards and 59 rushing yards, numbers that weren't flashy but were more than enough given the circumstances. The Bills' victory pushed them to 2-0 on the season and firmly established them as the team to beat in the AFC East. More importantly, it sent a message to the rest of the league. Even when Buffalo isn't at full strength and even when their quarterback takes a brutal shot to the face, this team finds a way to win, and to win big. Looking ahead, Thursday night's clash with the Dolphins will serve as an early season measuring stick. Miami's explosive offense, led by quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and wide receivers Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, will test Buffalo's defense. And while Allen may not be at 100% physically, there is no doubt he will be on the field, ready to lead his team once again. For now, the image of a bloody Josh Allen returning to the game after just 2 snaps on the sideline is one that perfectly captures his identity as a player. He is fearless, determined, and unrelenting. And as long as he's under center, the Buffalo Bills will always believe they have a chance to win. They say that, in football, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't really have a quarterback. But what happens when a team finds itself with 2 kickers, and both have legitimate cases to be trusted? That is exactly the unique situation the Buffalo Bills are facing early in the 2025 season. With longtime starter Tyler Bass currently sidelined on injured reserve due to pelvic issues, veteran Matt Prater has stepped in and turned what looked like a 1-week stopgap solution into one of the biggest storylines of Buffalo's unbeaten start. At 41 years old, Prater is defying both age and expectations, not only filling in admirably but performing at a level that raises a serious question. When Bass is healthy, do the Bills immediately hand him back the job, or do they ride the hot hand, or, in this case, the hot foot? Prater's story reads like something out of a football fairy tale. Called off his couch in Arizona just days before Week 1, the veteran kicker, who already owns the NFL record for the longest field goal ever made at 64 yards, boarded a red-eye flight to Buffalo to replace Bass. With almost no practice time, he was thrown straight into the fire against the Baltimore Ravens. The result? A perfect debut, capped by the game-winning field goal that completed Buffalo's epic comeback victory. Skeptics wondered if it was a one-time spark. Prater answered those doubts emphatically in Week 2 against the New York Jets, proving he wasn't just a fill-in but a legitimate weapon. He drilled all 3 of his field goal attempts, including a 52-yarder that cleared the uprights with room to spare, and went 3 for 3 on extra points. More importantly, his presence gave Buffalo stability in a game where momentum could have swung on a single missed kick. Instead, the Bills cruised to a 30-10 demolition of their AFC East rivals, improving to 2-0 and sending a clear message that they are in full Super Bowl pursuit. But the most underrated part of Prater's contribution has been his kickoffs. Against the Jets, 5 of his 7 kickoffs landed deep in the so-called landing zone near the goal line, forcing return attempts rather than touchbacks. That subtle detail had a massive impact. New York was repeatedly pinned deep in its own territory and began 3 drives inside its own 30-yard line. Those hidden yards add up, and head coach Sean McDermott certainly took notice. "Matt's been tremendous for us," McDermott said last week. "He's the guy for the foreseeable future, but at the same time, Tyler is our guy in the long term." That statement captures the delicate balance Buffalo now faces. On paper, Bass is the future. At just 28 years old, he's in the middle of a 4-year, $20.4 million contract, one of the richer deals for kickers in the league. He has been consistent for Buffalo, making numerous clutch kicks over the years and establishing himself as a trusted weapon in pressure situations. But contracts don't kick footballs, and the reality is that right now Prater is hitting everything he looks at. There's also the human element. Prater is the oldest player in franchise history, a 2-time Pro Bowler who has kicked for 5 different teams across 2 decades. Everyone around the league knows he won't be around forever. In fact, there's widespread belief he plans to retire back home in Arizona if and when Buffalo releases him. That knowledge adds urgency to his current run. Every game, every kick, could be his last meaningful contribution in the NFL. And that urgency has translated into laser-like focus on the field. The situation is further complicated by what's happening around the league. On Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants when their kicker nailed a stunning 64-yard field goal to force overtime. On the flip side, the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Philadelphia Eagles by 3 points after missing a late field goal. In today's NFL, where parity is razor-thin and games are decided by one possession more often than not, the value of a dependable kicker cannot be overstated. So, the Bills' dilemma isn't just hypothetical. Imagine Buffalo in the AFC Championship game, or the Super Bowl itself. The margin between victory and heartbreak could be a single 50-yard attempt with the season on the line. Who do you trust in that moment, the younger, contracted franchise kicker and base, or the seasoned veteran who has been flawless since joining the team in emergency fashion? General Manager Brandon Beane and McDermott will eventually need to make that decision. For now, Prater remains the starter and has earned the trust of his teammates. "He came in and fit right into the locker room," said quarterback Josh Allen. "The guy is just steady. When he lines up for a kick, we all feel good about it." Buffalo is 2-0, its offense is firing on all cylinders, and its defense looks as dominant as ever. With aspirations of finally bringing home the franchise's first Super Bowl, the Bills cannot afford to overlook even the smallest detail. And right now, the kicking game is not a small detail, it's a strength. Prater may not be the long-term answer, but in the short term, he's been everything Buffalo could ask for. Whether the Bills eventually transition back to base or continue riding the veteran until the wheels fall off, one thing is certain: this unexpected kicker controversy might be the best problem the team could have. For now, as Buffalo eyes another deep playoff run, fans can rest easy knowing that, no matter who is kicking, the Bills have options. And in a league where one swing of the leg can define an entire season, that's not a bad place to be.